Hi all, today I am going to deal with third module. The first session is flood. A flood is an overflow of water on normally dry ground. This is most commonly due to an overflowing river, a dam break, snow melt or heavy rainfall. Less commonly happening are tsunamis, storm surge. The most deadly flooding was in 1931 in China. Floods are relatively slow in occurrences and often occur in well identified regions and within expected time in a year. Floods occur commonly when water in the form of surface runoff exceeds the carrying capacity of the river channels and streams and flows into the neighboring low-lying floodplains. At times, this even goes beyond the capacity of lakes and other inland water bodies in which they flow. Floods can also be caused due to storm surge and high intensity rainfall for a considerably longer time period, melting of ice and snow, reduction in the infiltration rate, and presence of eroded material in the water due to higher rate of soil erosion. Though floods occurs frequently over wide geographical area having disastrous ramifications in many parts of the world. Floods in the South, Southeast, and East Asian countries, particularly in China, India, and Bangladesh, are frequent and equally disastrous. Unlike other natural disasters, the cause of floods are well established. And flood is overflow of excess water that submerges land and inflow of tide onto land. A flood occurs when water inundates land that's normally dry, which can happen in a multitude of ways. Once again, unlike other natural disasters, human beings play an important role in the genesis as well as spread of floods. Indiscriminate deforestation, unscientific agricultural practices, and disturbances along the natural drainage channels and colonization of floodplains and riverbeds are some of the human activities that play an important role in increasing the intensity, magnitude, and gravity of floods. A flood is usually caused by rain, heavy thunderstorms, and thawing of snow. Aims of flood management is protection of people and property and reduction of flood risk, monitoring, research, forecasting, and warning. Flood is a state of high water level among a river channel or on the coast that leads to inundation of land which is not usually submerged. Floods may happen gradually and also may take hours or even happen suddenly without any warning due to breach in the embankment, spillover, and heavy rains, etc. And every stream flows in a particular stage at a particular place during different intervals of time in a year, such as dry stage, half full stage, and bank full stage. This depends upon climate and precipitation in the catchment area. A flood occurs when the volume of water in the river becomes greater than bank full stage. The extra water spills over the banks and spread in sheets all along and away from the banks governed by available slope. This condition is actually called flood. Next is types of floods. According to the duration, flood can be divided into different categories. First of all, slow onset flood, and the second type is rapid onset flood, and the third, flash floods. Slow onset flood means slow onset flood usually lasts for a relatively longer period. It may last for one or more weeks or even months. And rapid onset floods means last for a relatively shorter period. They usually last for 1 or 2 days only, and flash flood may occur within minutes or a few hours after heavy rainfall, tropical storm, failure of dams, and releases from dams, and it causes the greatest damage to society. Flash floods, which are short lived extreme events, prove the exception. They usually occur under slowly moving or stationary thunderstorms which last for less than 24 hours. The resulting rainfall intensity exceeds infiltration capacity, so runoff takes place very rapidly. Flash floods are frequently very destructive as the high energy flow can carry much sedimentary material. Flash floods are local floods of great volume and short duration, and also flash floods generally result from torrential rain on relatively small and widely dispersed streams, and runoff from the intense rainfall result in high flood waves. And flood flows frequently contain large concentration of sediment and debris. It also results from the failure of dam. And flash floods are particularly common in mountainous area and desert region, but are a potential threat in any area where the terrain is steep, surface runoff rates are high, streams flow in narrow, and severe thunderstorms prevail. Next is river floods. River floods are caused by precipitation over large area or by melting of the winter's accumulation of snow or by both. These floods differ from flash floods in their extent and duration. Whereas flash floods are of short duration in small stream and riverine floods take place in river systems whose tributaries may drain large geographic area and encompass many independent river basins. And the condition of the ground due to urbanization, etc., directly affect runoff. And floods on large river system may continue for periods ranging from few hours to many days. Flood flows in large river system are the distribution of precipitation. And next is coastal floods or storm surge. Coastal flooding normally occurs when dry and low-lying land is submerged by seawater. The range of a coastal flooding is a result of elevation of floodwater that penetrates the island inland, which is controlled by the topography of coastal land exposed to flooding. Storm surge or tidal surge is an offshore rise of water associated with a low pressure weather system, typically a tropical cyclone. And the wind causes the water to pile up higher than the ordinary sea level. And the low pressure at the center of the weather system also has a small secondary effect, as can the bathymetry of the body of water. The term storm surge in casual use is storm tide. That is, it refers to the rise of water associated with the storm plus tide, wave run up, and fresher water flooding. It is the combined effect of low pressure and persistent wind over a shallow water body, which is the most common cause of storm surge flooding problem. Next is causes of floods. Massive rainfall, drainage system and effective infrastructure design during heavy rains and collapsed dams, climate change, overflowing of the rivers. The people living along the river always have a risk of life from the overflowing of the rivers and heavy rainfall. And heavy situation of river bed reduces the water carrying capacity of the rivers or stream, and blockage in the drains lead to flooding of the area, and landslides blocking the flow of stream, and construction of dams in the areas prone to cyclone. Strong winds accompanied by heavy downpour along with storm surge leads to flooding. The geological factors that facilitate floods are defined by topography, lithology, and character of the drainage basin. Topography means the nature of slopes along the river bank may vary from slightly sloping to steeply sloping. The steeply sloping land conveys the runoff after heavy rains directly to the stream within a short time from both the sides, thereby reaching the bank full stage. And lithology means that is type of soil or rock. When majority of slopes in the catchment are made of previous open texture soils or highly permeable rocks, a good part of rainwater is absorbed and infiltrates as groundwater. However, where slopes are made up of im- impervious, compacted, solid, and massive rocks or soils, greater volume of runoff reach the streams, contributing toward the flood stage situation. Next is typical adverse effects. The most important consequence of flood is the loss of life and property. Structures like houses, bridges, road, etc. get damaged by gushing water, landslides triggered on account of water getting saturated, boats and fishing nets get damaged. There is huge loss to life and livestock caused by drowning, lack of proper drinking water facilities, contamination of water, leads to outbreak of epidemics, diarrhea, viral infection, malaria, and many other infectious disease. And flooding also leads to a large area of agricultural land getting inundated. As a result, there is a huge crop loss. This results in shortage of food and animal fodder. Floods may also affect the soil characteristics. The land may be rendered infertile due to erosion of top layer or may turn saline if seawater floods the area. Next is monitoring of floods. Anticipating floods before they occur allows for precautions to be taken and people to be warned so that they can be prepared in advance for flooding conditions. In order to make the most accurate flood forecast for waterways, it is best to have a long term series of historical data that relates stream flows to measure past rainfall events. Radar estimates of rainfall and general weather forecasting techniques are also important components of good flood forecasting. Next is magnitude and frequency of flood. The magnitude of flood is generally indicated by the discharge of water from a channel at a particular point. The discharge of flow is commonly indicated by means of a hydrograph. As the name indicates, hydrograph is a plot between discharge of a stream at a particular place in a cubic meters or cubic feet over a period of time. It means day, week, or month or year. A flood is often indicated by the peak in a hydrograph. If we have a hydrographs of a river for longer periods or years, then it can be used for flood prediction studies. And if we have longer periods of hydrographs, the frequency of flood, that is, its recurrence or periodicity, can be predicted. And if a flood has returned period of 10 years, it means it occurs once in 10 years. Next is possible risk reduction measures. First of all, mapping of the flood prone areas is a primary step involved in reducing the risk of the region. Historical records give the indication of the flood, inundation areas, and the period of occurrence and the extent of the coverage. Warning can be issued looking into the earlier marked heights of the water level in case of a potential threat. In the coastal areas, the tide levels and the land characteristics will determine the submergence areas. Flood hazard mapping will give the proper indication of water flow during floods. And the next is land use control. It will reduce danger of life and property when waters inundate the floodplains and the coastal area. The number of casualties is related to the population in the area at risk. In areas where people already have built their settlements, measures should be taken to relocate to better sites so as to reduce vulnerability. And the next is construction of engineered structures in the floodplains and strengthening of structures to withstand flood forces and seepage. The building should be constructed on an elevated area, if necessary, built on stilts or platform. Flood controls aim to reduce flood damage. This can be done by decreasing the amount of runoff with the help of reforestation. Flood management in India, systematic planning for flood management commenced with 5-year plans, particularly with the launching of National Program of Flood Management in 1954. During the last 48 years, different methods of flood protection, structural as well as non-structural, have been adopted in different states depending upon the nature of the problem and local conditions. Structural measures include storage reservoirs, flood embankments, drainage channels, channel improvement works, detention basins, etc. And non-structural measures include flood forecasting, floodplain zoning, flood proofing, disaster preparedness, etc. First, drainage improvement, diversion of flood river. Floods can be controlled by redirecting excess water to purpose-built canals or floodways, which in turn divert the water to temporary holding ponds or other bodies of water where there is a low risk or impact to flooding. Next is floodplain zoning. Floodplain zones can be designated for specific types of land use. That is, in the channel zone, water should be allowed to flow freely without obstruction. First, flood hazard zone 1 means prohibit development within floodplain maintained area in a natural state as an open area or for recreational uses only. And next, flood hazard zone 2, flood proofing to reduce or prevent loss to structures is highly recommended. Dry stream channel should be maintained in a natural state and or the density of native vegetation should be increased to facilitate superior water drainage, retention and infiltration capabilities. And flood zone 3 and similar to flood hazard zone 2. Roadways that traverse channels should be reinforced to withstand the erosive power of channeled stream flow. Next is distributional pattern of flood in India. Floods occur in almost all the river basins of the country. Various states of India face heavy loss of lives and property due to recurrent floods. National Flood Commission identified 40 million hectares of land as flood prone in India. Assam, West Bengal, and Bihar are among high flood prone states of India. Apart from this, most of the rivers in the northern states like Punjab and Uttar Pradesh are also vulnerable to occasional floods. It has been noticed that states like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, and Punjab are also getting inundated in recent decades due to flash floods. This is partly because of the pattern of monsoon and partly because of blocking of most of the streams and river channels by human activities. Sometimes Tamil Nadu experiences flooding during November January due to the retreating monsoon. So, warning flood forecasting and warning has been highly developed in the past 2 decades with the advancement of technology such as satellite and remote sensing equipments. Flood waves can be tracked as the water level rises. Except for flash floods, there is usually a reasonable warning period. Heavy precipitation will give sufficient warning of the coming river flood. Next is flood benefits. Floods can also occur in rivers when the flow rate exceeds the capacity of the river channel, particularly at bends. And floods often cause damage to homes, and businesses if they are in a natural floodplains of river. So floods, in particular more frequent or smaller floods, can also bring many benefits such as recharging groundwater, making soil more fertile, and increasing nutrient in some soils. And floodwaters provide much needed water resources in arid and semi-arid regions where precipitation can be very unevenly distributed throughout the year. And next is freshwater floods, particularly play an important role in maintaining ecosystem in river corridors and are a key factors in maintaining floodplain biodiversity. And flooding can spread nutrients to lakes and rivers, which can lead to increased biomass and improved fisheries for a few years. And fish such as weatherfish make use of floods in order to reach new habitats. And bird populations may also profit from the boost in food production caused by flooding. Okay, thank you.